Hello, this is Mr. B, and I'm going to describe in this short video how to describe ratios using ratio language. So if you recall the last video we looked at how to write gear ratios, and now we want to examine how to say or explain those ratios using the type of math language that we've learned in class. So a ratio basically can be explained or described with this type of language. So this is the language that we can use to describe ratios, and you'll see the same type of language for every, the first thing, whatever that is, and then there are, and in this case, the small gear turns 3 times. So you'll see this for every 1 or 2 or whatever the ratio is. In this case, it's for every turn of the large gear, the small gear turns 3 times. And we're referring, of course, to this example that we just saw up here, where the large gear would spin 1 time right here, and the small gear would spin 3 times right here. That's the driven gear. So let's take a look at a couple other examples of ratios. So in this example, we've seen this before, it looks familiar. We can write a ratio of 2 to 3, which means 2 oranges to 3 apples. So what this means is, for every 2 oranges, there are 3 apples. So when we see a ratio of 2 to 3, does that mean there's only 2 oranges and 3 apples? No, it doesn't. There can be more. But it does mean, for every 2 oranges, there are 3 apples. So it could look like this. Now we have 4 oranges and 6 apples. But still, do we still have the same ratio of 2 to 3? Yes, because for every 2 oranges, there are 3 apples in each case, even if we had more. So now we have 6 oranges and 9 apples. So 6 to 9 is the same as 2 to 3, because for every 2 oranges, there are 3 apples. Here's an example from our homework. So your job on your homework assignment was to write 3 different ratios using this information right here. So one example could be 3 to 7 or 7 to 3. You could also write 3 to 4. Here's another example, 3 to 4, meaning 3 hearts to 4 diamonds. Or you can also write 4 to 3. There are 4 different ratios that you could write using this information here. So if we were to look at, let's just pick 3 to 4 as our example and use ratio language to describe this, we would say for every 3 hearts, there are 4 diamonds. So does that mean there has to be only 3 hearts and 4 diamonds? We could have something that looks like this, where there are 6 hearts and 8 diamonds. So 6 to 8 is still a ratio of 3 to 4 because for every 3 hearts, there are 4 diamonds. Or in this case, we still have a ratio of 3 to 4. For every 3 hearts, there are 4 diamonds. So using this language is going to be very important in your project. In your project, you're going to be asked to explain how many gear combinations are possible for a bicycle. We will go over this in the practice as well. We'll do this together so that you know exactly how to do this. But I want to talk about how to explain it. You'll explain in words and sentences using math language. So you want to definitely use the language that we just taught about ratio language. You want to say, for every front gear, there are this many back gears. So you can say something like that to explain the gear combinations. Don't forget, the language is, for every these, there are those, and that explains ratios. So in your project, there will be 2 questions, and you will just type in your answers here and use a diagram. Now the diagram is in a different video, but we're done with this one for using ratio language.